Great. Hey guys, so I've been recording all this time and the mic's been off, so we'll do this one more time, okay? And I'm so done with content. Anyway, hi guys, welcome to the Vuyo Show. My name is Vuyo. I am the host of this incredible NYC-based show where I get to hang out with some really cool people. I've tried to have so many variations of the intro of the show, and at this point, I'm just like, listen, I just hang out with cool people. I just have conversations with cool people because every single time I try and kind of give the show a bracket, I always kind of find myself like tapping out of that bracket and being out of that bracket. So I'm just gonna say hang out with cool people. We talk about cool things and we do cool things because we are cool people. Why not? um, I'm today, going to be sharing with you guys this a little bit about the show, where it's going, and how it relates to where I am right now and how it's meant to be relevant to you at home. So I hope that you are in for a great treat. It is a brand new season, so you are in for a one-on-one, heart-to-heart conversation where I'm just hanging out with you today because you are a cool person. You are a cool person, so let's hang out. So yeah, I'm wearing my favorite top because I just wanted to, you know, this is my favorite top because it's giving that girl, you know? You know those types of clothes that are just like, it's giving that girl, it's giving, I got loads of money in my bank. You know what I mean? It's giving like the shoulders, the hands, the sleeves, guys. I'm telling you. So I'm wearing this top because yeah, because I just want to feel the way that I'm speaking to you guys, which is amazing, right? And so but ultimately I wanted to record this episode because I wanted to get heart to heart with you guys about where the show is going and where it is right now. As you can see, things have slightly been different in the filming capacity of the show. As you guys, if you have been follower, if you've been a loyal follower and community member of the show, then you'll know that we've been, for the past season, we filmed the show in a fantastic, fabulous studio in Brooklyn that I did with these two hands. If you haven't seen that, go check out my socials. But I built a studio in Brooklyn, and we unfortunately had to close the studio a little bit earlier on this year as I was doing my pivot, career wise, not even a pivot, but just a restructuring of my business. And so we had to close the studio. And now I'm filming the show in a virtual capacity, but that does not mean that the show is not happening because here we are. We will be filming a majority of the show virtually. So and a lot of guests will be joining me from different parts of the world in a virtual capacity. So that's what you can expect, at least from this season and at least from the introductory versions of the season, right? And so that's what you can expect. And then secondly, as well, the exploration of different parts and different topics and different variations of topics that I can relate to, that I can speak on, and that I can have conversation about. And I found that to be I mean, in the beginning of this talk, I said cool people. And I mean, what does that mean, right? But to me, it means things that I can necessarily make sense of so that I can make sense of them to you as well. And I found that to be something that has been a struggle for me because I am multifaceted. I'm a multifaceted hun. Like I know things. Not in like even in a punctuous way, but like I've spent a lot of time researching, learning, understanding, and immersing myself in different parts of, even if I would say the creative industry in general. But I've been in an entrepreneurship role. I've been in a producing, behind the scenes role. I've been on a talent. I've been a media personality in front of the camera. I've also dabbled in entrepreneurship. I've dabbled now in tech. Dabbled in faith related kind of conversations and topics. Dabbles in fashion. Dabbled in leadership. Dabbled in global policy making and global leadership and business leadership and AI and all these different topics that I really am genuinely passionate about. And I'm finding myself now having to be intertwined in the types of things that I want to speak about. And so I want to make the show as authentic and as close to home as possible, and have the types of conversations that will resonate with where I am right now, and not just myself, but also where the world is right now and the world where the world is going. And so right now where I am personally is that I don't know if you guys have know this, but recently launched a fashion tech platform called Manhattan Avenue, and a magazine as well that is an accomplice, a sister act to that first act, which is a tech platform. Manhattan Avenue is a sister act, which is a magazine. It's a New York-based, New York City centralized or aesthetic magazine. And so fashion is something that I'm really, it's kind of flows at the tip of my tongue right now because I'm in that space, and also tech as well. Tech is a big part of my daily conversation and daily thought process and daily engagements that I have. So it's just seemingly only right for me to then have those types of conversations, right? And the various different types of topics and conversations that I find really relevant in this time, and that I feel like will then resonate with you guys, right? And so you will then have a layering and anticipation of various different types of conversations that do include, most certainly and most vastly around the fashion world. Building a fashion tech platform and building a fashion magazine really requires me to be fully immersed within the world of fashion. But this doesn't necessarily mean that if you are someone who is not in the world of fashion, might not enjoy the conversations that we are yet to have on the show. You might. And so I want to still invite you to come along, because primarily around it is the fashion of life. Like how does fashion fit into our daily living and our daily world? So that's all the type of things that you can expect on the show. And I'm really, really, looking forward to the types of guests that we are going to be having. We'll be speaking to kind of a variety of different types of guests on the show as well. So I went ahead and I asked my bestie, ChatGPT, what questions that you guys might have centered around this particular topic of introducing a brand new season, and hopefully answer those questions to you guys or for you guys, to maybe clarify a couple of questions that you might have as we are unsetting this brand new season. So these are the questions that ChatGPT asked. What's the core vision of this new season of the Vuyo Show, and how is it different from previous seasons? I definitely say that the main difference in this season compared to previous season is me. I feel different. I am different, and I am embracing that difference. And I mean, I don't look different. My voice doesn't sound any different. I probably still have the same hair color and braids as the previous season. But internally, I am different. I feel like the different previous versions of the show felt like me stepping into my trained broadcasting capacity, right? Which is I thoroughly enjoy and fully appreciate that. But I just genuinely feel like right now I've kind of immersed into becoming a broadcaster who is also comfortable in his skin and comfortable in who she is, and that then allows me to be truly most authentic in my approach to broadcasting. Not necessarily utilizing the cadences of broadcasting, but utilizing the cadences of who Vuyo is, and then utilizing broadcasting to take us there. So I feel different. 2 weeks from this recording, I will be 27. So with time comes growth, and growth, the outcome of growth is difference. And so I'm embracing that. So I am different. I feel different. And the last time that I was filming this season, I was in a completely kind of slightly different role and mind frame and space, headspace, and emotional space and mental space. So I kind of feel like right now I'm in a different space. So that allows the show to also then feel different. Nothing much really changes in in just how I continue to care for my guests, how I continue to care about the conversations we're having, and how I really continue to care about storytelling at its core. Um, Obviously, things like the capacity of the show. The show in the previous season was filmed in this fabulous studio in Brooklyn, and since the pivot that I've just recently done into getting into the world of fashion, and intentionally so into fashion tech and fashion publication and publishing, that then has slightly shifted my approach in the types of topics that I'm a lot more gravitational towards, which obviously is fashion, lifestyle, and really kind of picturing and shaping to the world what I believe the fashion of today, not just in clothing or in what we wear or put on, but in the fashion of how life then is, right? The fashion of life, and redefining what that looks like. So that's currently also a difference in this season from past seasons. And also, this show is going to be virtual for this season, or at least sections, or rather the introductory version of it. It might be different as we kind of progress within the season, but at least for now, the show is going to be virtual because we don't have a studio. I'm not even like mad about that. We make it work. We make it work. So we're going to be filming this season virtually. So I'm going to have guests join me from different parts of the world who are going to be joining me in a virtual capacity right here on our virtual studio. So that's also going to be fun because that also allows me to then have guests from different parts of the world and not just ones here in New York City. So that's kind of, I think, some of the main ways in which the show is different to the previous season. And I'm just a lot more fabulous this season. That's just what it is. I'm just more fabulous. And I'm more comfortable in my skin, just a lot more embracing of who I am. And so the Vuyo Show then is also comfortable in its own skin too. And so yeah, that's the kind of the new difference about this show. Okay, the second question is, you known for interviewing voices in fashion, lifestyle, and culture. What types of guests or stories are you most excited to bring to the audience this season? Oh, I am so happy about this question because this is also like a call to action for like folks who fall under the category of the types of guests that I'm speaking to. So if you fall into this category, I want to have you on the show. And this type of category that I'm kind of imagining for this season or currently engaging with for this season is the types of guests who are big dreamers and also who make things happen. The primary kind of focus of the season will be around fashion. As I said, I'm a fashion founder now and I'm a fashion editor, so I have to kind of immerse myself within that space. So you will be finding guests who are in the world of fashion and who play a role in the ecosystem of the fashion industry, not only in New York, but globally. And then we'll also then be finding people who have something to say culturally, right? So cultural tastemakers and innovators and fashion lifestyle as well. So you also kind of a variation of folks within the lifestyle space, and even conversations and topics around lifestyle and fashion and culture and taste making and redefining what luxury is and redefining what the industry is going not only to look like today, but also in the future. So those are the types of people that you can anticipate and expect to see on the show this season, and also see a whole lot of me. I'm going to be doing a number of these one-on-ones where I share my thoughts and my opinions on certain things, and you guys can get to know me a little bit more as well. Being in the shadows a little bit over there, but I'm now stepping into embracing, that a little bit more. And so you'll be seeing a lot more of me as well. We also will be having some segments where Nate Pennington, you've seen him in the previous season. He is our cultural contributor. He'll be coming back this season as well to share some of the news, stories, and events and experiences around the world of fashion, primarily in New York, but also around the world. So we'll be expecting to see him as well on the season back yet again. He serves as the editor-in-chief for Manhattan Avenue magazine. So we will be having engagements and conversations even centered around that. So be on the lookout for that. And then the third question is, how does being based in New York City shape the tone, the access, and opportunities for the show this season? Good question, because it matters. It really matters. And I didn't realize this until the end of the previous season, right? Now, being based in New York City is thoroughly important for the show because it really is the fabric. I feel like the fabric of New York informs the fabric of not just the show, but of also of just my sense of energy as well. New York sets the tone for the type of voice that the show has. It's global, it's stylish, it's fashionable, it's in the conversation, but also it's inspiring, right? I feel like New York has nuances of that I feel like have their relevance within the show. And so I just really appreciate being in New York. The previous season we filmed it rather in Brooklyn, and that enabled us to kind of have guests physically who are based in New York and who are doing incredible things in the city. And so even in this capacity, just being within New York enables the show to have that feel and that mood about it. New York is fabulous, and introductory of things to come include a continuation of setting the tone around New York. I mean, we've had segments on the show where we went to New York fashion events, we attended New York fashion events and New York cultural relevant events and stuff like that. So that is not going away on this season. That's going to be, at least in the introductory phase, different. But then as we kind of go forward and further, we will see a lot more of that coming forward. Opportunities are incredible. I mean, the last season I've had incredible opportunities, like being at NASDAQ, for an example, of attending gala dinners and invited to like consulates and invited to New York Fashion Week and invited to like United General Assembly. Like those types of opportunities I could only access because I'm in New York and because the show is in New York. So we are definitely looking forward to seeing more of those types of things happen again, and the show kind of being part of the conversation, because that's what we want and that's why we are here. And then the fourth question is, with Manhattan Avenue expanding on its own as a consumer platform, how will the Vuyo Show stand apart while still aligning with your overall brand? So basically, I believe this question signifies being the Vuyo Show and having Manhattan Avenue as two separate brands. How does those two things correlate to each other and how do they communicate? And I think it's a very important question because the Vuyo Show has been in existence for, I think, since 2023. And so Manhattan Avenue has just recently been launched. And how do those two things then still refine who I am and have they two different individual voices? The Vuyo Show is a show, and it's a podcast, it's a broadcast, it's a conversational type of centered approach. And Manhattan Avenue is a tech platform and a magazine. And those, I think, to some degree, all have a way of interacting with each other. But I want to definitely make a distinction between the two, and that the Vuyo Show is kind of the conversation that I'm having with you and with you and around you. And the Manhattan Avenue is a space and a platform in that sense. So Manhattan Avenue, then some of the things that we will be doing on Manhattan Avenue, some of the people that are on Manhattan Avenue, some of the people that are featured on Manhattan Avenue, some of the brands we have on Manhattan Avenue, the tech platform, will be featured on the Vuyo Show, for an example. So you will be seeing those cross-pollinations happening, but primarily incorporating how what we're doing on Manhattan Avenue make sense to the show. So you'll also be seeing a whole lot of that. And so it will definitely be speaking to each other, because at the core, the mother of both these platforms is the same. So you'll be seeing kind of an intertwining of that happening at the same time. So expect to, see guests who are on the show that are from from the Manhattan Avenue ecosystem. Like Nate Pennington, who will be a contributor on the show, is a editor at Manhattan Avenue magazine. So it's kind of intertwining like that you'll be able to see. But at the core, the Vuyo Show continues to be that fabulous show that you definitely want to watch, because it's all about cool. It's going to have cool people, and you're a cool person too, and you like hanging out and listening and being around cool people. So stick around. But also do engage with our Manhattan Avenue platforms, because I think that's such important for you to be able to see the true line and how these two things intertwine and connect to each other. So that's also very important, I'd say, for sure. The last question is, if this season of the Vuyo Show could leave one lasting impact on the fashion and lifestyle industry, what would you want it to be? I would want the show to be that one type of podcast, which is very different to a whole lot of things that you're going to be seeing out there. But wanting this podcast to be the type of podcast that you tune into, that you listen to remember that you're a dreamer and to remember that you can achieve your wildest dreams. If that's something that is part of who you are, something that you want for yourself, I want this to be the space that you come to, that by the time the episode ends, you will be reminded that you are incredible, that you are that girl or you are that guy, and that you can achieve your biggest dreams and biggest ambitions. And we are going to be inviting people who are going to help us kind of be geared towards that direction and be moved closer towards that direction, so that the more stories we hear about that, the more we are encouraged and uplifted to continue on our journeys as well. So you will be seeing a lot of inspiration. This show is not just an edutainment or an educational type, or rather entertainment type of show. You will definitely be entertained, because I am an entertainer. But you'll also be informed and educated, and empowered and ignited to go ahead and live your wildest dreams. Back in high school, my not primary school rather, my primary school teacher did not call me Vuyo. He called me Dreamer. That was literally the name that he used, like, Dreamer. What do you have to say? Dreamer. And that stuck with me. And so I would definitely love to be around a community of other people who are dreamers, who dream big, who work hard, and kind of come together here on this platform to share the power of those dreams, and to explore how to make those dreams come true. So I'm hoping to see a lot more of you on this season. I'm hoping that you're going to stick around and stay tuned, because we have so much in store for you. And follow the journey. And thank you so much for being a supporter, a community member, part of the Dreamers Circle, because we definitely need each other as dreamers, because sometimes the world just cannot hear what we're saying. So we gotta band together and just like stick around each other. So this is a space for that. And I'm hoping that in its variations and in its difference, that you will embrace the show as it is presented to you. I hope that you will appreciate the show and not just the effort, but also the value that we are hoping to bring and present to you. I hope that you're going to tune in. I hope that you're going to share, you're going to like. I hope that you're going to tell your friends to come along and be part of the experience. And I really hope that you will hear my heart with this show. And you will hear my heartbeat through the conversations that we are having on the show. It's always been a dream of mine to utilize the power of storytelling and broadcasting and television and media, to reshape the world in a different way that we've seen before, and to really maximize on its power, which is, I believe, to change the world. And in this capacity, changing the world one fashion story, one lifestyle story, one cultural story at a time, but also one dream at a time. So thank you so much for watching. This is a Vuyo Show. I'll see you on our next episode. Bye.